Hello, everyone. On November 3rd, a decision was made that will affect this country for many years to come. This decision will affect your life directly, probably for the worse. The Packers did not sign Will Fuller.
What's up, losers?
This sucks. Why are we doing this?
Because this is the best week the Vikings have had all year.
That is true. If you were under a rock, the Vikings beat the Packers somehow. I don't know how it happened, but we're going to try to figure it out here today. The Vikings are so bad at everything they do, they can't even tank correctly.
No, we can't. It's something.
That game on Sunday was the most frustrating game I think I've ever watched. Hey, if you don't know us, my name's Eli Merrick. This is Tim Smith. This is a Border Battle show. We talk Packers, Vikings. Normally, I'm way happier than this.
Yeah, because normally the Packers are, kicking tail, sending teams home sad. But not this week.
That was the most frustrating game I think I've ever watched. It was ridiculous. The Vikings came into Lambeau Field and just punched us in the mouth.
Well, to be more accurate, Dalvin Cook, and only Dalvin Cook.
You are right. You are right. It was basically just a Dalvin Cook show. Dalvin Cook finished that game with a ridiculous 30 carries, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. He was also the leading receiver for the Vikings with 2 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown.
Sorry, I did not realize that Dalvin Cook was the leading receiver.
Yes.
That's great.
He did everything for you guys. We couldn't stop him. It was ridiculous. It was so bad. It's the first... Okay, so Vikings haven't had a player score 4 touchdowns in a game since Ahmad Rashad in 1979, and then Chuck Foreman, who got grills named after him, which means he's pretty good.
Wasn't that George?
Maybe. Are you sure it wasn't Chuck?
Yeah, it's Foreman. Foreman's a Foreman, right?
Yeah, right? I've always said that. It's been so long since the Vikings have had anyone do this. And, of course, it's the Packers' defense. Of course it is. It's our Achilles heel. The Packers should be, the best team in the NFC, but we can't stop the run. The Vikings' game plan in this game was run Dalvin Cook up the middle on first down. Second down, run Dalvin Cook up the middle. There were no third downs.
Yeah, it legitimately felt like the Packers just did not stop Dalvin Cook at all. Every carry was 10 yards or more.
Yep.
At least until the second half at some point.
And this is kind of mind-blowing. So he hit 163 yards. His longest run was 37.
Was it really? I thought that one touchdown. I thought that one run was.
That was the screen.
Oh, that was a catch.
That was the screen.
It was. Oh, yeah.
Yep. He had the one really long screen, 50-yard screen pass, which some of the tackling attempts on that play were so bad. I hate to see Packers players just diving at air trying to get a guy, but that's exactly what was happening on that play. It was disgusting.
I think the most chilling thing, the most painful thing for Packers fans, you might think it's the Dalvin Cook thing, but I think it's the fact that you had a healthy defense for the most part.
Yeah.
And couldn't stop tackles. And we were literally about to put Adam Thielen in a corner if we had another guy go down.
Yeah.
And we seemed to shut down every one of their wide receivers not named Devontae Adams.
Yep, exactly. You did. The Vikings beat the Packers with a 7th and 8th string corner.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just horrible. And this, in my opinion, the saddest thing about the game is that Kirk Cousins threw the ball 14 times. That is it. Question to the Packers coaching staff. If you're playing against the Vikings, who let's go over your offensive playmakers, right? You have Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
You have Adam Thielen, and you have Jefferson. Those are your big offensive playmakers. Mm-hmm. The guy that's throwing the ball,
not one of them,
is not one of your big playmakers. It's Kirk Cousins. He sucks. Why aren't the Packers stacking the box at any point in that game? Put 8 men in the box. Force Kirk Cousins to beat you. We never did this ever. We just let Dalvin Cook run it up the middle, until there was no time left in the game and we lost.
Even if Cousins was better, right?
Yes.
Even if he was, if we're running the ball that much, don't you just stack the box at some point just to mix it up on us?
You would think. Like, the only time it ever seemed like we were in just a full-on, like, run-stop mode was in the fourth quarter when you guys were trying to run up the clock, and it was incredibly obvious that you were going to run it.
Yeah.
But even then, it wasn't any more obvious than every other down in that game.
I had a thought just now, though. Do you think it's possible the Packers were surprised because Dalvin Cook was coming off being injured last game, and they thought, well, maybe they won't use Cook? Now, that doesn't excuse them not adjusting, because we used him so much, but does that...
You know the Vikings offense is going to be centered around Dalvin Cook. Like, that's a given, I think. It's kind of inexcusable, and I think should probably be some firings. But I'm always calling for firings, so what do I know?
Here's what's really weird about this game. Because the Vikings have been a more dynamic offensive team in the past couple of years, like this iteration.
Yeah.
We've been a good defensive team, too, but we've also had...
You have very good wide receiver weapons.
Yeah, if you took the names out of all the players and just showed you the stat lines, it could have very well been the same game that happened in 2013 with Christian Ponder or 07 with Tavares Jackson.
Yep.
Like, that's the kind of feel it was.
Yeah. Like Adrian Peterson kind of game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just we run Adrian Peterson up the middle over and over and over again. Hopefully it works.
Sometimes
it did against the Packers because we cannot stop the run. And this is going to be an issue for the Packers moving forward. And I've been saying it since the beginning of the season. The weak spot on the Packers, I know people want to talk about wide receiver. You can win with Davante Adams as your only good receiver. Aaron Rodgers can get it done. The Packers have shown we can score points. Like, that's not that big of an issue, especially if Aaron Jones is playing. Aaron Jones not playing in this game, I think, did make a big difference. But certain teams are just going to kick our butt if we can't stop them from running the ball.
I think the two holes you have kind of there's a synergy there.
Yes.
So what happens is you have a game like this where the other team's running the ball and, they're eating clock. So you need to make throws, right?
Yep. Well,
let's say they have a good corner or they're double covering Davante. Well, then where do you throw to? Equinemius St. Brown. That's your next option, or Marquez Valdez-Scantling,
who got one catch in the game.
So it hurts because you got the two things. Like, if you can get both those spots, then the Packers look a lot more beatable.
Yep. Thankfully, I think Robert Tonyan is a bit of a bright side in the offense.
Yeah, he looked good.
He did. He had a great game. He had 5 catches for 79 yards, was our leading receiver as far as yardage goes. Davante Adams did get 3 touchdowns, but the Vikings did a pretty good job of containing him. He only had 53 yards in the game. So, hats off to your young corners that you picked up off the nice that you picked up off the street. I'd never heard of any of those guys before.
Yeah,
they did a good job covering Davante Adams.
The Vikings are still picking up corners off the street. If you go up to US Bank Stadium right now, they're taking any and all offers.
And you're wearing a jersey, you might be able to catch an interception from Kirk Cousins in practice. How cool is that? Step right up, everyone.
I don't know. It's also an awkward situation for the Vikings. Because going into this week, it was very much, okay, we're 1-5. Mm-hmm. Let's just try to lose games, try to get a good draft pick.
Yep.
But now, we're 2-5, and you get some Vikings fans. I don't know how seriously, but there's some Viking fans that are like, hey, maybe the schedule's looking up. Maybe we got the Lions next week, and then in a couple weeks get the Jaguars, and then the Cowboys. Those are some very beatable teams right now.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at a 5-5, 5-6 team.
Yeah. The Vikings, if things go right, maybe this is the turnaround game you needed. Who knows? Vikings have a shot at a playoff spot. There is the extra team getting in now. 7 teams in the NFC are making the playoffs. The division that we thought was going to put the most teams in the playoffs, 49ers just got obliterated by injuries. I think they're out of the question now at this point. So some of the competition that the Vikings are competing with has gone down a little bit. I think it's still a really big long shot that you make it. So
let's run a quick just hypothetical.
Sure.
So this is why I don't want Vikings fans to get their hopes up, and I think we should still. I mean, you can't. I think it's always tacky to just overtly tank, and I think that's why the Vikings aren't, even though they didn't make any trades. So I don't know I don't know where they're at. But okay, so let's say the Packers continue to do well. They get the 1 seed, 13-3, which I know Eli thinks is impossible. It's 14 or 2 or bust, but 13-3. And then you get the Seahawks. They get a 2 seed. Get the Buccaneers at a 3 seed. Take your pick. I don't know.
Who
Eagles.
cares?
The Eagles as the 4 seed.
Washington football team.
Sure. Okay, so those are your division winners.
Who cares?
Then you get 3 wild cards, okay?
Yep.
So you look, okay, who are the top teams left in the NFC? You have
Rams, Cardinals,
Saints, and Bears.
Bears.
Those are the teams. So that's 4 teams for 3 spots. Then you throw in the Vikings if we get hot.
5 teams with the Vikings.
So then the first thing we have to do is we have to beat the Bears because we still played them twice, right?
Yep.
If we do that, we have a tiebreaker over them, and that pushes them down, okay? But even if we do that, we still have those 3 teams ahead of us who all have way better records than us already.
Yeah, the Saints are winning games now. They're winning ugly, but they're getting it done. And obviously the teams in the NFC East or NFC West are gonna give each other some losses and stuff. We've already seen that a bit. Cardinals beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, but now there's a bit of an outlet because they all can beat up on the 49ers a little more, I think.
That is true.
So it helps them.
Yeah, it does help them, escape with better records.
I think it's very unlikely. It's the steepest of steep roads because if we falter in if we lose to the Lions once, which could happen,
it's pretty much over then.
If we lose to even the Cowboys, if Dalton's back by then, Dalton's can be good, or maybe they'll do what we did to the Packers. They'll just throw Zeke on us.
Yeah,
for 30 carries. So I
think Mike Zimmer wouldn't let that happen as bad as the Packers coaching staff. But
I don't know.
Who knows? I think it's very unfortunate that the Packers have shown a precedent that if you come in and just man us on the offensive line to defensive line front, you can just run it up the gut and beat us. Ronald Jones went off on us in the Tampa Bay game. And Dalvin Cook is obviously a very good running back, but your offensive line looks so good, and your offensive line is not good.
No, it's mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's a good point, actually. Is this the recipe to beat the Packers? Just run a bunch. Because the 2 times you've lost, that's all it was.
Yep. And you know what's interesting? Packers won the time of possession battle.
Really?
Yep. 32-12 to 27-48.
I find that wow.
Yeah.
I know
a lot of that was the first half.
I know.
The first half was 4 possessions, which is insane. That was the quickest first half I think I've ever seen. It was basically technically 5, but the Packers just essentially ran out the clock to the half as that 5th possession. So a 4-possession first half, and the Packers dominated time of possession in that first half. So I think that's part of why the stats look the way they do there, because the third quarter was all Vikings.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you associate running the ball more with chewing clock and all that. But if you watched the way Dalvin Cook was running, it was very quick. It was just boom, boom, finally get stopped, boom, next play, boom, boom, finally get stopped. And we were just motoring down the field. So it didn't chew as much clock. So I guess I can see how that happened.
Yeah, this game was nothing like when these teams first met early in the year. Just completely different story. And hopefully it's a bit of a wake-up call for this Packers team to that we need to do something. We're so close to being a legitimate Super Bowl contender, someone that can go up against a team like the Chiefs, a team, one of them AFC teams, and have a chance of winning the Super Bowl. But we're not going to get it done if our team looks like this.
Right.
So, what do the Packers do at the trade deadline? This is going to sound horrible. Nothing. We did absolutely nothing.
They talked about getting Will Fuller. That's something, right?
Yep. We had talks with Will Fuller. He even hinted at possibly going to the Packers on his social media and stuff. It was close. But what I'm hearing is the Texans wanted a 2nd-round pick, and the most the Packers were willing to offer was a 4th-round pick. So
they should have just gone with a 3rd-round pick.
If Bill O'Brien was still there, he would have totally traded for the 4th-round pick. So, dang it. That's unfortunate. But, yeah, Packers made no moves at the deadline. I thought we needed defensive help more. I would have been stoked to get a defensive lineman or a linebacker or something. But wide receiver is a position we need help with as well. Will Fuller would have been such a good fit, I think. But it's clear that the Packers don't want to trade away assets for what will essentially be a rent-a-player.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But you have to make moves like that if you want to get it done in the playoffs.
Yeah. Also, the other thing is Aaron Rodgers is only going to be around for a couple more years. I find it very unlikely the Packers re-sign him.
Why are the
Packers
gotta
invest
building
now.
for 2025?
Yeah, you got to invest now. This is your window. Mm-hmm. This is what good teams do.
Yep.
They're willing to stretch a little bit on their team budget to make the team better to get them to get that Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is This is legitimately going to be like one of the last shots for Aaron Rodgers to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
As much as I hate to say that. Put some pieces around him so he can get the job done. It's exceedingly aggravating. And, like, what can you do? Like, I don't feel like we have the pieces to, like, maybe we can beat Seattle, but I don't see this Packers team, like, beating the Chiefs.
Right.
They have a really good running attack and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
If there's one silver lining for the Packers, at least Aaron Rodgers is the type of quarterback who could just put the team on his shoulders at time. Now, sometimes that isn't enough because you face a team good enough. But at least, you can go into every game saying, hey, we're not completely out of it because Aaron Rodgers can just do it.
The Packers will have a chance in every game. But Aaron Rodgers had a pretty decent game.
Right.
He was 27 of 41 for 291 yards, 3 touchdowns. Played really well. And the crazy thing is the Packers even had a chance on the last possession in this game.
Yep.
We went down earlier in the fourth quarter, got the 2-point conversion. We were down by 6.
Yep.
Time was expiring. We didn't have much time to work with at all.
And you're right around the 50, I think, on that last play.
Yep. And, like, it was a Hail Mary situation, which the Packers have pulled off before, mostly against the Lions, but we've done it. And, it just didn't happen. But even in a game like this where we just got destroyed on defense, our defense got totally outclassed. We still had a chance in this game.
Yep.
But we were playing a 1-5 team. So there's that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, but at least it's like, I think it's one of those weird years where everyone's had at least one of those weeks where it just
But the Tampa Bay game was supposed to be that week.
That's true, but the Tampa Bay's at least, like, we all know now that Tampa Bay's a pretty good team.
Yeah, they are.
So I mean, you can have this is your one bad week, all right?
Okay.
There's your hope.
Okay.
Why am I being so optimistic to the Packers fans this week?
I know. You're like,
I'm just like, it's okay, guys. It's
Packers
okay.
are okay. Vikings, we should tank. you're not filling Bob's shoes correctly.
I know. I'm sending all the wrong messages.
You need to just be false hope and optimism like Bob was.
11-5, boys. You guys ready? 11-5. I don't see another loss in the schedule.
Table.
Yeah?
Run
Buccaneers?
the table.
I barely know them.
So, did Vikings do anything at the trade deadline, Tim?
We traded Yannick before, but no, nothing. Which is really weird. Like, it sends a lot of mixed signals. So we win that game, and then we don't do anything.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, where is the team now?
Yeah, you just traded Ngakoue for picks.
Yep.
I assumed there was going to be some more guys moving for picks because it seemed to me like the Vikings were going into rebuild mode.
Yeah.
No, nothing was done. So who knows what the Vikings are doing?
I really don't know. The thing is, and this is what I'll circle back to every time, I don't think this team's totally lost. The thing is, the thing we need most, I think, is a quarterback. It's either we need a quarterback or just a massively dynamic piece on defense that we don't have right now. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get either of those in the free agent market, and we weren't going to trade for one. So the only way to get that is to draft for it. So I think that's why I've been advocating for tanking.
Yeah, but the Vikings are bad at that too.
Apparently. Can't even tank properly.
Yeah. I don't think the Vikings were ever getting Trevor Lawrence.
No. But there was a couple other really good QB prospects this draft class.
Mm-hmm. You're just full on done with Kirk, right?
I am. Yeah. I mean, I don't make those decisions, unfortunately.
You don't? Weird.
Yeah, right?
They should hire you.
Speaking of hiring.
Okay.
Oh, that was a great segue.
Yeah.
So the first time I was on the Border Battle show, I think it was the first time, there's a major cheating scandal in Major League Baseball. The Astros and the whole thing, you can look it up. All right. Basically, they cheated. They stole signs.
They were banging trash cans.
Yeah. It was the most blatant cheating in baseball since, I mean, you could say steroids, but there's more nuance there. But I would say the most blatant cheating by a team since the Black Sox scandal, like 100 years ago. And so there's a lot of hubbub. There's a lot of hubbub when people felt like the punishments weren't severe enough.
Yes.
And now the manager of that team is back on a major league team already.
Who signed him?
The Detroit Tigers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are they gonna suddenly be like really good?
Yeah. If you start saying it's like they're like the best offensive team next year in baseball,
or guys are hitting home runs.
I heard that they actually got a special sponsorship from Waste Management this year.
Nice. If they just start hitting a bunch of home runs, won't it just be because they're going up against Twins pitching quite a bit?
Hey.
No.
Twins have good pitching now, right? That's not our issue. Apparently our offense sucks now. Yeah, we had
I didn't see
one of the top
playoffs.
Are you kidding? Our pitching was great.
I don't know.
Other than two guys in the bullpen, our pitching was great. It's just our offense was gone. We put up 2 runs. That's it. Which is weird and bizarre, and I'm not retreading that ground. All I have to say is I heard someone today make the case for why we shouldn't be mad that A.J. Hinch has a managerial good job again. Okay. And the case goes something like this. Here's the deal. He served his time. It's not his fault MLB didn't give him a longer sentence. That's not his fault.
Yeah.
He just did his time and then went and got another job. So he's trying to prove himself again, right? So I'm not going to fault him for that. If you have any ire directed at Major League Baseball, and maybe their sentences, it wasn't so much that their sentences weren't harsh enough, it's that other sentences like Pete Rose's in the past were too harsh.
I would agree with that.
So whatever you think about it, don't take it out on AJ, I think. Until the Twins lose to him.
Are the Detroit Tigers a team that you think will be successful with him?
So they were hot at the beginning of the season. Then they cooled down, and they're still a young team. So I don't expect them to be good. But his job as coach, the reason they hired him, is to be like, hey, your job is to take them to the level where they're good now. They weren't there, but that's your job. Your job is to bring them to the next level.
And they do have a very soft division to work in, so that's pretty cool.
I honestly can't even refute that because there was 3 AL Central playoff teams, and they all got kicked out of the first round.
Yep.
So I don't want to tread this ground again. That's enough baseball talk.
I hope I have sufficiently triggered
now
you.
I'm sad.
Yeah. So let's go on to picks, where
right.
Tim has now got a 1-game lead on me. He's 6-3 on the season. He picked the Vikings to cover the spread,
and they did.
Yeah, they did. They did for sure. I picked the Packers to win in a blowout, and man, that didn't age well.
No.
So this week I get a chance to turn it around. I'm 5-4 on the year. Tim's 6-3. We got 2 games to pick. Packers at 49ers Thursday night. Exciting stuff. There's some COVID stuff going on though.
Yep.
A.J. Dillon and Jamal Williams are running backs, both on the COVID list. I don't think they're going to be playing. So pick up Tyler Irving now on your fantasy team.
Right.
Because Aaron Jones sounds like he will be a game time decision. So who knows?
Yeah.
That's not the worst thing, though. Have you seen the 49ers injury list?
They've had a rotating door of running backs all season. Garoppolo's out, potentially for the year now.
Yep.
Kittle's out.
Kittle's out for the year.
Out for the year?
Yeah, just bad.
Their
whole team is gone. Their whole defense is gone.
Their like wide receivers have been injured too.
Yep, and one of their wide receivers just got COVID too, so he won't be playing.
Yeah.
Sherman's not playing. No one's playing for the 49ers. They're trotting out their reserve squad.
Yeah.
And because of that fact, the Packers are favored by 6 on the road.
Yeah.
And I think the Packers have a good bounce back week. I have some bad memories of 49ers games as a Packers fan, but I don't think the 49ers have enough on their roster to really keep this game that competitive. Who knows, though? Maybe their offensive line just punches our defense in the mouth again, and they just run it up the middle over and over. It could happen, but I don't think we're going to let that happen again.
No.
Packers win. I feel like I just say this every week. Packers win big. They cover the 6.
I want to say they cover. I probably am going to say Packers win, Packers cover, just because the 49ers are so beat up. But all season long, I have been touting Kyle Shanahan's ability to.
He's a very good coach.
He's been keeping them competitive through all these injuries, and they've been some good wins in some of them too.
Yep.
But I don't see they're going to be touting running out C.J. Beathard again. Mm-hmm. I just don't see how they can do it. I have to say Packers win, Packers cover.
Okay.
Which sucks because I feel like this could have been a really good game had both teams been healthy.
Yeah, at the start of the year, it was one of the ones I had circled on the schedule.
Yeah, NFC Championship rematch.
Yeah, it should be pretty exciting, but unfortunately, injuries, what can you do? It just sucks. Lions at Vikings. Vikings are 4-point favorites at home, barely giving you home field advantage,
right?
+1. How does that make you feel?
Well, I have to say that this might actually change. We'll roll with this, but it might change because Stafford just got put on the COVID list.
He did.
So I think this will probably change. But we'll roll with this number because that's all we got.
Yep.
So I think we're going to win because of that, which is, I think, cheating the spread a little bit. But I think we win. But had Stafford been healthy, I honestly think we probably would have lost. Because this is Everson Griffin and Adrian Peterson's chance to beat up on their old team.
Yeah, it's a revenge game.
Yep.
Adrian Peterson's going to go for like 200 yards on you.
Oh, my goodness. They're going to do to us what we did to the Packers. They're just going to I formation Peterson over and over again.
Man, that'd be hilarious. I would love to see it.
He just immediately retires.
Who's the Lions' backup?
Quarterback?
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore.
Let's look that up. Because
it's that guy who played last year for them, remember?
Stafford's just been Iron Man for the most part. Like, he never misses games.
Do you remember him being injured last year?
Yeah.
That guy actually looked pretty good. He was a pretty good backup. Oh, man, I don't even remember now. Hold on.
I'm looking this up.
David Blau. I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Good old... And Chase Daniel, looks like, is on their roster as well. I wonder who gets to start there.
I would assume it's David Blau because he was with them last year. He started when Stafford was out, so I assume he's a good backup. I could see. And you know what?
Vikings
are bad against backups. We're so bad. Oh, man. What was that last year against the Bears?
Bears and then Chiefs.
Matt Moore.
Yep, Matt Moore just destroyed you. You guys made him look like Patrick Mahomes. All
right. This makes 100% sense. Lions win, Lions cover. Sorry, guys. Wow. I'm the worst Vikings fan.
You really are. Like, I thought Vikings fans were like, just beacons of false optimism and, just root for the team down to the grave. But, man, you are
not the normal Vikings fan.
Jeez. You are
Here's
horrible.
The thing. Okay, I am that when it comes to, like, baseball.
Okay.
But I can only do it with one sport. Otherwise, it's just way too draining.
That's true.
So I just have to be down on the Vikings. When they do good, if they have a good run here, then maybe I'll be super optimistic and I'll be ready to break my heart again. But I'm not ready yet.
Fair enough.
Next year.
Vikings. I think Vikings disappoint. I really do. I hate to pick the exact same as you.
Yeah.
That is really annoying. But I think the Lions win this game. That's so with the backup though. I just don't think the Vikings are a good team. I think they'll be riding high off of their victory against the Packers. That will be the highlight of the Vikings season. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You beat a division rival. That was the first Matt LaFleur loss.
Yeah.
To a division rival. You guys did it.
Dethroned the king.
Yep. Hope you're happy.
Best team in the NFC now.
Because this is the high point for the Vikings. Next week you're back down here. Tank for Trevor.
Here, I got a poll question. Okay. How many sacks does Everson Griffin get on Cousins? Does he get more than one sack?
That's a good question. He's pretty good.
He is.
And Kirk Cousins is not good at avoiding.
I feel like he'll be out for blood because the Vikings just had nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
Just let him go.
That was pretty rough. So I guess we'll see. Does Adrian Peterson rush for over 200? He doesn't.
That would be just the absolute worst way for the game to break. Yeah. The thing is, with the backup quarterback, it's entirely possible they do just hand it to Adrian Peterson way too much.
Yeah. That tends to be how you have to play Adrian Peterson, it seems like. You just have to run him up the middle way too much.
Much like his own age, he's like a computer that's like 20 years old.
Yep.
It just like takes like way too long to heat up and warm up. So, you just got to, you have to give him a good 40 carries.
Yep. I hope they do. I'm gonna say the Lions win and of course cover. So
all right.
We picked the same, which means I will not be gaining that pick back on you, but that's okay.
You should have picked the Vikings to win, Lions cover.
I can't.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Well,
I can't. I just can't do it. Well, what a horrible week.
Yeah. I guess we'll be back here when we realize that we were once again wrong about the Vikings.
Probably.
But.
Yeah. What if the Vikings just blow them out? What if the Vikings look like the best team in the NFL?
Sheesh. That'd be weird. I wouldn't know what to make of that.
Just the bounce back.
Because I've bought into the tank so much.
Right.
Like I just feel like
we spent the last few weeks just talking about Zimmer needs to be fired. Yeah. Kirk Cousins should be sent down the river, and what if they just turn it around?
They could too. Like I feel like there's this feeling that some teams just took a while to get going with the COVID year, and they're just starting to kind of get their feeling in, and I feel like that could. Vikings are gonna make the playoffs. All right. 10-6, they're gonna get in. You heard it here first. Bears are gonna collapse. You convinced me. All right, don't hold me to that, but
I don't know what else to say. See you guys next week. Thanks for watching.